All right, we're recording. What I'm going to do is go over just, kind of what the market looks like, which really is just more of the same, but, we'll look at it anyway. And I will show you just briefly how powerful engineering robo can be, even if you want to trade lower time frames. Also, we're going to look at some of the beta release notes for the Solana features on Nansen, which just started today. So, I really haven't looked at any of it. You'll be seeing basically what I'm seeing. I'm just going to briefly go over that because it's not really in a state yet that they're going to release it to the public. It's mostly just Nansen alpha people that are beta testing it. And then what else? We're going to go over the AI tokens to see, just what they look like in general, see if there's any 30/70 rule, good buying opportunities, that sort of thing. So as far as Bitcoin goes, I guess we could start. Let's just look at the weekly chart, because usually you want to zoom out. And this doesn't look great. Usually when you get a big flush out like this, you're usually going to get a revisit at least halfway down or so. Not saying it has to happen, but the way I look at this is, here we had this, Engineering Robo has this thing where if you just wanted to look at the color of the candles, they have this option here. Where is it at? Change candle color. So if I just wanted to look at that, I could say, yeah, this is extremely bullish all the way up. And then when it turns gray, it's kind of an indecision area. I wonder if it did it back here. Yeah. So see back here, it kind of did, it dipped really quick back in 2021. And then it came up and it started to, it was sort of in a buy area while still in the sell area. So as it got higher and higher, it kind of turned gray, and then eventually it turned green. So that's what's happening here. This was green, now it's turned gray. Question is, will it turn red now and come down further? So that's what we're watching for, and this is the zone. Like say, for example, if this was to come all the way down to here, I would say load up right here. I mean, not Bitcoin. I mean, you could, but, for alts. So this is where you'd buy your alts. And that's only if this was to happen. I'm not saying it has to. So in my mind, what I'm looking for, this is the line in the sand for me. I've talked about it pretty often. 57.6K is that purple line. I think maybe I'll save that. But then if you go down to like a daily, actually we could step down. We'll see what 3 days shows. Because what you're looking for is you don't want any areas that have broken structure. So this is basically on a 3-day, this is the support right here at 56,000 almost exactly. So you don't want to lose that level, but I like this level better because it's based on volume profiles, that sort of thing. So the question is this like if I took off, no, that's not what I want to take off. I want to take off candle color. So if I took off candle color, this kind of just to me looks like a bull flag. And maybe that's what's going to end up happening. This holds up and we push back up to the top of this line. And then once we finally get above, if we get like a 2-day, 3-day, weekly candle close above this blue line right here, then, it's just go time again. Because usually when like we've tested this line, this top line once, twice, usually the third time is when it breaks. And if you go back, I was making a point of this last night on Twitter. If you go back, well, no, this is a bad one to look at. Let's look at the presidential chart. So if you go back and look at this and you say, okay, what happened in October, September, November? Is that right? September? No, I had it backwards. It's September, October, November, right? I don't know, something like that. So yeah, okay, so September, I called it side timber, and then October and Pumpvember. And usually that's, it tends to happen that way in each of the cycles. So you're going sideways in September, you're going up a little bit in October, but the real move ends up being in November. And especially during presidential years, unless something just really weird happens and there's no presidential election and there's a bunch of chaos and confusion, then, maybe things are different this time. But so far, we have no reason to believe that. And you can see here, that's the point I want to make. You can see that's when the real breakout happens. And these prior ones here, like this was 2016, I had put the line of the breakout at the lower high down here But you can see as it got back up to the all-time high, it had trouble breaking. But this was that 3 tap that I was talking about. It hit it once, hit it twice, hit it 3 times. Actually, it hit it 4 times, and then it broke out. And then here is 1, 2, well, I guess there was a tap back here too. But in this case, it's a little bit different this time. I don't know if you want to count this one. You know, this could have been the all-time high, or this could have been the real high, even though this one got a little bit higher. But you'd had 1, 2, 3 taps so far, you know, without counting this one. So, you know, the next time it gets up there, I think it'll break out. And then I'm still expecting a Bitcoin top of, I mean, I think most people are saying 2025, yeah, but I think it could happen as late as October 2025, but, you know, we'll see. It just depends on how long this goes sideways. But if we go back to daily chart, what happened to my lines? Oh, right. There it is, okay. So I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this, but I just want to make it clear that there's not a whole lot to see right now. As long as we're above 57.6K, it's just business as usual. If we get under that, then I expect down here to this blue line, you know, maybe as far as 42 to 38K or 37K. You know, otherwise it's just more sideways, like we've been talking about for many months now. Okay, Bitcoin dominance. So still expecting something like this. This is the monthly chart, so it takes a long time for this to play out. Let's see how many days we have left. So we got about 20 days, and then this candle closes. And then I expect either we'll have a another candle that creates an equal high, or it begins to, you know, fall. I don't know what it looks like on the weekly. I mean, it's getting up into here where there was resistance before. I mean, it could get up here to this blue line possibly, but that's what we want to see for an alt season, right? Okay, I think let's just talk about, I can go through this real quick because this is brand new. So this is the Solana beta release for Nansen. They just released it today. So all I can use currently, this isn't available for, I don't even know this is available for anybody that didn't request it even, but it's not available for Pioneer users. So if you got the lowest level of the paid version, you're not gonna be able to see this yet. But what we can do currently is look at token God mode on, I can look up any Solana token, I think, or I can look up anybody's wallet, you know, if we have a wallet that we want to track. So that one wallet I was telling you about maybe, what, 2 or 3 weeks ago, that's the #1 Solana wallet on Pump Fund. I've got it pulled up right here, and we can actually see the things that this person's bought. Now, the only thing with this person is they're in and out of plays very rapidly. Like I'm talking about, they only hold plays for 5 seconds sometimes if it doesn't look good on their bot, you know, they're using some kind of bot. So I don't think this is the right kind of person to use in this situation, because you'd be constantly refreshing, and I really don't know if Nansen would be able to, you know, update it quick enough. So what we'd really be looking for, let me see if I can find a different wallet here. I'll just pull this over here. Okay, so this is #1 sole trader on Pump Fund. I just want to find one that holds their tokens a little bit longer. I think it's this one right here, this high win rate. And I've shared these before, but if you want them, just let me know. So we copy that, we go to search, we paste it in, and it pops up there. So yeah, you can see this person, well, actually no, they're not holding much. Yeah, so I guess this wallet isn't that active right now. But anyway, you get the idea. That's how you would do that. You'd be able to pull up the wallets. And then the other thing is, what is a good Solana token? I'm actually not sure. What's a good Solana token? Let me just check Dex Screener real quick and just see which one is the most popular. I'm just doing this off on the other monitor real quick, hang on. Okay, so the hottest, let's see, the hottest token last 24 hours. Is it Fight? I think it might be Fight. Yeah, looks like it's moving up. So let's pull that one out. And you just go to search, you paste in the contract address, there's fight to MAGA. And it's gonna be really new. So you're not, I doubt you're gonna be able to get much information here. When did this one? Yeah, I mean, this one just launched today. So you know, if you're thinking about brand new tokens, getting into them, sure, you can find them. And actually, I don't even know, I don't think this is on hot contracts, but we can see. I wonder if we can filter. No. I don't think Solana is going to be on hot contracts yet, but this would be one way that you could find brand new tokens, sure, you know, within the last 24 hours. And then we just sort by age. And maybe we'll do that in the future, but typically these Solana tokens are just, they move too fast, especially if they're on pump fund. You know, some may pump to 100K, 200K, a million, and they just dump, you know, the people are getting out of them real quick. So I don't really think that this is going to be, I am working with the Nansen team trying to tell them, hey, you know, you need some kind of system that can track these tokens real quick if people want to get into them. So I think they are going to make a system like that, but we'll see. I mean, that's going to be a development thing. In the meantime, you would have to find a token, and I'm struggling to even think of one that's like a longer term hold that's in the Solana ecosystem. Well, it really doesn't matter. I mean, you get the idea there. So we'll just move on from that. It's not that big of a deal. I'm going to keep beta testing it, trying to help them, and we'll just see where it ends up. And I guess actually, before we get into this, I could just take a look at Nansen and see. I don't think there's anything that's really interesting right now. I'm noticing, I mean, this is interesting to me that some of these stable coins are starting to show up in the top of token inflow now, which this is it's a free feature with Nansen. So if you just want to jump on Nansen without an account, I think you can see this. You may have to make an account, I'm not sure. But I'm just not seeing much 24-hour inflow coming in for smart money. So it tells me that there's not many smart money buyers right now. Maybe there's some accumulating. And I do like that stablecoin exchange flow is starting to turn back up. So what this means is people are starting to move some stables back onto exchanges, but it's mostly just sideways. But at least the bleeding has stopped, it seems, where people aren't taking them off exchanges as much. And then if we look at that query that we've looked at before, is this the one? Yeah. What I'm watching for on this, got to find the right one. Here it is. I'm watching for this purple line to start curling back up right here, which is it's the 30-day moving average getting back above the 360-day moving average. So we're not quite there yet. But back here when it did this in October, this was the big pump for like all the tokens. So this thing started curling back up like that. And I guess this was kind of a warning right here, or an alert that it was going to curl back up soon. But this is the buy threshold. What do they call it on here? Entry threshold. This light blue line at the bottom. So, I mean, it's just a good value, right? When this purple line gets near the blue line there. So, you know, to be honest with you, this is a very good thing that things have reset like this. And maybe they're going to reset some more. But if we're going to assume, and I believe it's true, that we are going to have another altcoin pump like we always have. You know, we've always had two in each cycle. If that's going to happen, then you know, you're getting the same prices almost as you did back in October. So if you have that extra funds, just keep them on the side a little bit longer, or slowly start to accumulate. You know, that's the way to handle it. Okay, so let's close that. Let's close this. And what I've got here, let me make sure I start on the right one. What I've got here are the AI, it is the AI spreadsheet that Tatiana and the people that assisted her came up with. This is the VC backed, and they were over 100 million, I think, over 100 million market cap. No, under 100 million market cap. So we've got two different AI, and she's still working on the gaming one, by the way, so that one will be soon. But what I've done is I've opened up each of these charts, And so all these charts are available to you. Just click on them. And we'll start with HGPT. I mean, this one looks pretty good as far as the 30-70 rule, right? So number one, and I'm not going to do this on every one of these, but I just want to make a point. You know, this ended up being once it got below the 30, and you could have even waited until it got back above the 30 to buy. So this was a perfect buy, and then this is a perfect sell. And same exact idea here. I know it's, in real time, it's much more difficult, but same idea here. If it gets above the 70, you could just wait till it crosses back below. So you would have sold here, and yeah, you would have missed some of the pump for sure. Where are we at? You might have made like 2.5x or something, but you don't have to take it all out right away. You're just sizing out. That's what smart money does. So, you know, maybe you take 20% out here or 10%, you know, whatever it is you want to do. But notice the thing that you can do with RSI is notice that the, no, that's the wrong thing. Notice that the momentum is slowing down on it. So lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, finally breaks below the 50. So as long as you're above the 50 RSI, you can continue to hold if you want. But as soon as it gets below that 50, that's either a warning signal or it's time to get out completely. So just be aware of that. If there's a big pump like that and you've already gotten into the 70, you could have held, you know, for 23x there. But, you know, lower highs is what you want to watch for, and then finally a breakdown of the 50 RSI, and that's on a daily chart on that one. So what we're looking at currently is it's tapped the 30 once, it's tapped the 30 a couple other times here. It has a big wick down to this support level, and you know, you're kind of close to support here. So what you could do, what is it, 19 cents? So support's 19. If you did like this project, you know, if it was in your market cap range that you wanted to buy, which I don't know exactly what this one is, but you know, this could be an area. I'm just checking it. Yeah, so it's done a 50% retracement of this whole move, and usually, you know, that's a decent place to start accumulating. I'm not saying it can't come down here. It definitely can, but you know, it's just up to you if you want to take that chance. But what you want to do is protect yourself. If you do buy in this area, which is fine, just make sure that if it drops below it, you know, if you get a daily candle below this support line, just go ahead and get out. And then once it gets back above support, you can get back in. So what you're trying to do is save yourself from downtrend. Now, if you had Engineering Robo AI, or, I mean, let me turn Engineering Robo AI off. I've told you before, you don't have to have a paid indicator. The only reason I mention these things is if you want it, you know, if you have the money to spend on it, that's fine. It's better than this free indicator. But if you'd rather just use this free indicator, that's fine too. So what you do is you type in the Phoenix or the RD, actually just type in the RD, ARTY, click this, go into your settings. This is the area. You want to copy all of these settings right here. From right here where it says weighted down to big. Everything above big right here is what you want to do exactly like I have it. And then I think on style you have to take off this table thing, or it's going to show a table in the top right. And then you just save it down here when you get done. Save as default. But everything below there you can turn off or hide. And then it's going to look like this on your daily chart. You can use it on other charts too, but as long as it's in the green, you stay in. As soon as it turns red, you're out. And then you just wait for green to show up again. And then on the flip side, if I turn that off and I turn on Engineering Robo AI, which you don't even need this dashboard here, you can turn that off. And there was a good question in the chat by Greg asking about the social intelligence score. So number one, you follow these to a T. You know, every single time you get an AI buy, AI sell, you follow it. You do those instructions just like a robot, and then you wait for another AI buy. So maybe you don't buy yet. You know, there's no AI buy signal. You're going to miss a little bit of the pump, and maybe it has a big pump. And if it does, don't chase it. Even if there's an AI buy signal, just wait for it to retrace a little bit and then get in. You know, maybe a 50% retrace from a big candle. Currently, the social intelligence score is a 4, and it's in the red. That's kind of mid-range. There's only a 3, 4, and a 5 setting on it. So it's a fairly strong downtrend right now. I can guarantee you when this was happening back here, and I can show you on replay, if we go back to this and we hit play, yeah, see right there it had a 5, social intelligence score of 5 in red. That means it's a very strong downtrend, and you don't even want to consider getting in yet, even if you're not going to follow the setting. So if we step forward a couple times here, let's see, okay, right there. So right there it turned from 4 to a 3, and it did that because it was, you know, the algorithm was thinking that it might turn into a buy signal. You know, it was looking like buyers were coming back in, but if we step forward a little bit more, well, it actually turned green for a little bit because it thought it was going to take off. So in this case, you could have bought, yeah, thinking it was going to go up, because remember the gray area means that it's kind of indifferent. It doesn't know if it's going to, you know, be a buy signal or a sell signal currently. But remember, you have to go by the signal that's prevailing currently. There's no buy signal here, right? So in this case, you would have still been out. I mean, if you're a risky person, you could have bought here, but there's still no buy signal. See, it turned back to red 3. There's a red 4. There's a red 5. And then we're back to a red 4. So in my opinion, if you want to be safe and you want to protect yourself from a downtrend and, you know, having to hold through something, then just follow these. I mean, it's really easy. Follow these signals, or follow the 30-70 rule, which is fine to buy right now because you've hit the 30 twice. But just be aware that it can't fall below this support. And if it does, then you got to treat it just like an AI sell signal. You got to get out. And then if it gets back above support, it's fine. Get back in. But just remember, on any chart you're looking at, if you see it already in the 70 area, I'd be very careful because it could turn around on you. Now, if it's a strong uptrend, then yeah, it's gonna, you know, it's gonna keep going like this did. You know, it kept staying up there near the 70. It was very strong. But you want to stay above. You know, if you're above 50 RSI, you're bullish. If you're below 50 RSI, you're bearish. That's the basic rule. All right, stepping over to Aether token, ATH. This one doesn't have as much history, but it's clearly bearish. And really my support should be down here somewhere, maybe even down here. So it's kind of in no man's land right now. Probably wouldn't mess with it. I think I want to change that to that. Yeah, so it's rejecting all of this support that it lost. So reject there, could come down to support under 50 RSI. It's not worth it. If I go down to like a 16-hour chart, it hit the 30 RSI. It hit, well, it didn't hit 70 exactly, but you know, that would have been a really nice, well, no, it wouldn't have actually. It's only like a 20 or 30% move. But this is like a 16-hour chart, which is fine if you want to step down a little bit. It does have an AI buy signal. It's kind of in an uptrend, you know, higher highs, higher lows for RSI. So if it got back above 50 RSI, then it's ready to go. So even within engineering Robo, you can step down to some, like even here it shows still AI sell. So you can jump around and just see, you know, what some of the things are showing. But with a newer token, you probably want to step down. Let's see what, yeah, 6 hours still bearish looks like. Well, it's kind of, yeah. It's saying AI buy, but you know, if it loses this level, then it's a sell. So it's an okay place to buy. It's just kind of, like I said, no man's land. All right, FLT, what is this, Fluence? I'm not sure what this one's called. We do have an AI buy signal on the daily. Actually, that looks a lot like the one we just looked at, doesn't it? And you'll see this a lot where they look similar. This is a nice little uptrend after, you know, momentum uptrend, after a downtrend on price. It's an okay place to buy. This is kind of what I was talking about. If you get a decent move, like this, you could wait for it to reject a little bit, but I don't know. This one's hard to read right now. You know, it could reject and come back down to support and maybe even lower. So one thing I want to just point out is sometimes you're going to get that 30 RSI hit and it's still going to come down just a little bit more. but momentum overall is coming up. So, there is a chance it could at least push up to this bullish line. So just, it's going to happen sometimes. Just be aware of that. But here's a 30 touch pump. What is that, like a 50% move? No, it's almost 100% move. So yeah, I mean, you're going to get some times when it fakes you out. But if it's a token that you want to hold for a while, it's eventually going to get up to that 70. So, it's still going to be a good buy in the end. So I just want to make a point that it's not going to be perfect every time. Let's see. Yeah, this one's real choppy. I don't really like this one, to be honest. OBOT. But, it is way oversold. And I guess support should probably be more like that. I think that's okay. Yeah. Yeah, so, if you wanted to take a chance on something like this, if it's a project that you like, then there's your 30 RSI. You buy, you wait for 70 RSI to hit, and you just check to see how bullish it is. And if it looks like it's still bullish and it's above the 50 RSI still, just remember that these, like we looked at before, it can do this and then pump some more, do this, pump some more, and then it starts to fail. And what momentum looks like in that case is it's moving up, it's just chopping around, but overall it's making lower highs. So as you're making higher highs and momentum's making lower highs, that's what's called a bearish divergence, and you would get out on the 50 RSI cross down. Sometimes it's just a warning the first time when it crosses under 50 RSI, but sometimes it's the real thing. And there's actually a really good example here with Bitcoin. Like if you go back, yeah, here it is right here. See how straight uptrend, higher highs, higher lows, lower highs, lower lows on the momentum down here. And you get out on the 50 RSI right there. Look how perfect that works. I mean, you might have been faked out a couple of times here because it did touch the 50 RSI. I mean, especially right here because it got under it. So, I mean, I can't say in real time that you would have played that perfectly, or I would have. But usually, you're going to get that 50 RSI clear break. It's going to make it obvious, and you'll get one more test because they like to fake people out. So you would have had a second chance to get out, and here it is again. Here's an uptrend, downtrend on momentum, uptrend, downtrend on momentum, and it did fake out again and came back up and rejected 50 RSI. So that's kind of how you read that. Okay, we did OBOT, GOMD. I think this one, well, this one could come back down to support. I think it's fine to buy this one here if you want, but it is a sell signal, but it is sitting on a bullish line, so who knows, it could hold that. I guess my only issue with it is here's the 30 RSI it touched once. It'd be better to wait for a 30 RSI touch because we're under 50 RSI and it's rejecting it multiple times. So a little bit sketchy there. Let's see what else we got here. Man, this one's all over the place. These ones that are older tokens, they have a lot more choppy price action. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, it hit 30 RSI a couple of times, but I need to turn on the signals here. Yeah, so, I mean, it's a bearish signal, so if you want to be safe, then you don't take the play yet. You wait for the AI buy. And remember, every single one of these spreadsheet plays, long-term plays, even some of your requests are actually they're in this channel right here. So like this morning, ORDS said AI sell. To get out of ORDS. Now, if ORDS turned around at the end of the day or tomorrow and said AI buy, you get right back in. If it's a token you like, you just follow it like a robot. You do exactly what Engineering Robo tells you. And I'll tell you from experience, you are going to you are going to see some situations where it might have been better to hold longer because you probably would have made more, you know, just in general. Like I'll give you an example here. So if you would have bought here right when this AI buy signal happened, October 2020 on Bitcoin, and then you got out right here at the AI sell, you would have made a 200% roughly. But if you would have held all the way to right here, it would have been almost a 400%. So let's just add this up real quick. So 200% there, and then you get back in here. This is a big candle, so you would have missed out on this whole move. You would only made like, you know, 12% or so here. And then here you wouldn't have made much at all. It would have been a break even. So it's about the difference of missing out on 200%. But it's tough, right? Because what if this would have happened? Yeah, so what Engineering Robo does is it protects you from, it's like downtrend protection. You know, so you're banking your profits basically. So let's say, okay, I feel terrible because I missed 200%, but let's say none of that ever happened, and instead you had something like this where it just went down. I'm really happy that I saved all that profit that I made instead of round tripping, right? So, yeah, some things to think about there. That's why Engineering Robo is so good. And in a sideways trend here like this, you're not going to find any indicator anywhere that's going to trade this perfectly. You're just going to get, you know, marginal profits or marginal losses. That's it. But when things finally get bullish, or when things get bearish, you know, you're either saving yourself from a downtrend and losing a bunch of money, or you're able to jump into a short, you know, because you think that a low leverage short can make you some money, and so you would have taken this low leverage short. And the reason why I say low is because you don't want to be doing high leverage, because sometimes this can come down a little bit and then it can fake out back up to, you know, take out high leverage traders. So you can make money either way with Engineering Robo if it's something that interests you. Okay, so let's see, where did we leave off? PRQ is just really choppy. I mean, I was in it at one time, and I'll probably get back into it, but it's an older token. It's a little bit harder to read on RSI. You'd have to jump up to like a weekly, which on the weekly, it looks pretty good. You know, maybe this is a double bottom. What is that? 5 cents. So yeah, I mean, you could jump in here if you wanted to, but you'd have to get out for sure if it got below support. We've got an AI sell signal here, but we've got, okay, so we've talked about this before, how if momentum's coming up while price is coming down, that's a bullish divergence. So there's a chance anyway that this could be a good play. But the real play would have been here. This, you know, this 30 touch right here would have been the perfect play, because you got that downward price action with momentum coming up. So this is a fine place to, you know, go ahead and take a position if you want. If it loses support, just get out. You want to be buying as close to support as you can, or if you're short selling, you want to buy as close to resistance as you can, because it's just the flip side. Okay, AIT, we're barely above 50 RSI. Lower time frames are bullish here on the dashboard. It is an AI sell signal on the daily. I would say it's just no man's land right here. I could move the support up to this right there. So I'd just be careful with this one right now. I don't know that I would get in just yet. Two ways you could play it. Comes down to support, buy it there. If it loses support, get out. If it gets above the bullish line, get in. If it falls back below the bullish line, you could get out. So it's just kind of hard to read that one right now, which a lot of them are that way because Bitcoin's acting a little bit weak. Here's another bullish divergence, momentum coming up, price coming down, sitting right on a support line. Inspect could be a good buy right now. Let's just see. Social intelligence score of 4 in the red means it's fairly strong. It could come down one more time. Momentum is coming up. I mean, this could be a good buy actually right now. So if you want to buy here on Inspect, I think that's, yeah, Inspect. Then, you know, just get out if it falls below support on the daily. But if you're just following the, I mean, that's the more risky play. If you're just following the sell buy signals, then you just wait for a buy signal. It will pop up in our channel here if you want to just wait for that. So if that's one you want to watch for, there you go. EMC sitting right on support, momentum coming up, same exact thing. And that kind of tells me that some of these tokens may be ready to either move sideways, you know, have actually found their base, or they're ready to start moving back up. Doesn't mean they have to, just because, you know, this is coming up like that, but it could. Okay, EMC, TADA. We've got another 30 touch. Let me see here. Okay, yeah, so there's an AI sell signal. There's a 30 touch, which is basically a higher low on your RSI. There's no AI buy signal yet, but if you're a little bit more risky person, this could end up being a double bottom. You're near support, you could go ahead and take a small position here, or a starter position. If it falls below support, just get out until it gets back above support. Here is LAI. I mean, your near support is kind of the same idea. You could get in here if you wanted to. It's hard to tell if it's just sideways momentum on the RSI, or if it's actually starting to build some positive momentum. Yeah, it's really hard to tell there, but you always want to buy, you know, if you're trying to long a token, you want to buy near support. So it, you know, it's pretty close to there. And the reason for that is if you were, you know, if it was to fall below support with a daily candle and you got out, you're really not risking much to the downside. So let's say you get in here, it falls below, you've lost 20%. Let's say you enter when it was back up here, now you've lost 45%. So, you know, see the difference there. Here is MOOV. Still looks bearish. This is like a token that's been around longer, so I like to go up to like a weekly or a 3-day or something. Yeah, so it's bearish on the 50 RSI. It's below it. AI sell sitting right at support. So if you want to take a chance again, you know, you could take a chance here, but you know, it's got some work to do to get back up. So just be aware of that. Okay, I'm going to end it there. I don't want to make this too long. I will do more AI tokens either later this week, or I will do them, I don't know, maybe Monday next week, Tuesday next week, something like that. But anyway, that's some of the things that I'm looking at right now. If I'm just going to go ahead and make this a public video as well, I think. Do I want to do that? Well, maybe I won't. I don't know. I'll think about it. But anyway, if I do make it a public video, check the description if you're interested in Nansen or engineering Robo AI, or our Discord even, you know, where we have all the alerts. Okay, appreciate y'all watching. Have a good week.